Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tea Talk Tuesday. Ah, the sun's shining today, at least for a little while, so I am happy. It is good to see you all. Peace be with you. Good morning. Libby wins the prize this morning for being the first one to comment, although I think you get that 5,000 life points every single day. Way to be, production. So glad you're feeling better, beautiful friend. Good morning, Gina and Anne. Good morning. Yeah, sunshine, Anne, right? I'll take it. I don't know. Rough night. I woke up with such a wicked headache. So I don't know if it's like atmosphere changing or I slept wrong or I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, so you're going to get slightly brain fogged Carrie this morning because I'm like, what's happening? So yes, in fact, I was trying all the things. What? So I would love to know. I would love to know why this thing has volume on it right now. Let me just turn this down. Um, I would love to know from you guys, what do you do for a headache? Right when you have a headache, are you like an immediate go to? Grab some Motrin, some ibuprofen, something like that? Or are you like natural remedy kind of person? And this feels to me kind of like migraine-y, and I'm not a migraine sufferer usually, so maybe those of you who are will be like, "Oh no, girl, you would know if this was migraine, right?" But I'm feeling like it might be, affecting vision a little bit, making me not feel so great. Like, I don't know. So I would love to know from you guys, what do you usually do? Carrie usually tries to wait it out. Don't like meds, but Tylenol. Okay, fair enough, right? Um, I get these every once in a while, and one thing that has always helped me, which is not my norm, right, is a Tim Hortons ice cap. And you have to drink it through a straw. And it's something about the caffeine and the cold hitting the back of my, throat, whatever the nerves are, like back there, somehow helps. But no, I did not run to Tim Hortons this morning. So it's probably just the opposite of what I should be doing, but I'm drinking my thieves tea just like Libby. So where it's a thieves tea, let's see if we can get Millie to do thieves tea tomorrow. We can make it a whole week of tea talks instead of coffee, right? So cheers. Millie, did you get that? Are you on here yet? You're going to have to drink some thieves tea tomorrow. So, and water and Tylenol and toast. Why does toast help? This is this is a very good question for me. Why does toast help with a headache? It's very interesting. Millie, either that's an I don't know what to do for a headache, or I don't know what thieves tea is, or I don't know why you would have toast. Could be any one of those. Love the fact that we're having a conversation about that this morning. So, Anne, you have a headache too. Maybe it is the weather. I don't know, but I am ready. I am ready. My husband has this, like, I forget where he gets it from, that thanks. I don't know if it was like a Jimmy Fallon type of a thing or what it is, but every time something would go bad, he'd be like, thanks, COVID, or thanks, China, or whatever the case may be. And so this weather changing, right? Like now it's May and we're really ready here in the Western New York area, at least, for some warmth. And we just really haven't had it. And so we had one really nice day, and then the next day we woke up and it was like rainy and cold. And he looked outside and he's like, thanks, Buffalo. He's like so done with this area. But these weather ups and downs and changes and fluctuations, and now it seems that a lot of, here in the Western New York area, at least, and I don't know how this is with our Cleveland family and those of you in other areas, but COVID seems to be back with a vengeance. But it's not super severe COVID. Like, people aren't getting this types of symptoms and hospitalizations and things like that we had before, but they, a lot of people seem to have it. But at the same time, a ton of people are having just colds, seasonal colds. Yes, colds are still a thing. Right? A lot of people. And then, as soon as you're sniffling, as soon as you sneeze, everyone's like, what was that? Do you have COVID? What's happening? And it can be rough. It definitely can be rough. And so I've been having a lot of friends who've been having colds. And so I'm kind of trying to make sure I'm not getting that either. So I don't know. Anyway, enough talk about that. Crave carbs, don't know why. It's my sinuses too. So, toast. You know what? Did not have any carbs yesterday or the day before, so maybe toast is the answer. So, we'll see. Mhm. Okay, I wanna scroll back up here and catch one of the comments. I think it was Carrie. Carrie, did you say, "Your title is the same name of God of Second Chances. Randomly came on my shuffle playlist this morning." Oh, my song, God of Second Chances, or a different person's song of God of Second Chances? Because if it's my song, that's the one you're getting today. Um, I've been thinking a lot about this, and I love this whole season. Let me know if you feel the same way. Just all of the readings, just this whole season of getting to know, Lent, and then now this Easter season, where we're really getting to know the characters in the Bible, the people who are God's followers, right? And I think there's so many ways that we can relate to the people that we hear about, that we read about, right? And I was just thinking about second chances, Peter, particularly because we're hearing about him in the readings on the weekends, right? And Thomas, here Peter is, he goes on to be our first pope. He goes on to be, the rock, right? And yet he denied Christ. And I did 2 confirmation retreats this past weekend, and there's a prayer that I pray that I usually start the confirmation class with, and I love this particular prayer, and it was a prayer that came out. We used to have a prayer for every year. Maybe we still do. There was like the prayer for families, and the prayer for the year of faith, and the prayer for the year of mercy, and all those things. And this one, I don't even remember which one it was or what year it was, but it's a long time ago. And it talked about the new evangelization, and just the willingness to step into that role. But whatever it said, it really spoke to me, for confirmation kids, right? Because there was this part of the prayer that said, "In moments of hesitation, remind me, if not me, then who is going to proclaim the gospel? And if not now, then when will I proclaim the gospel?" And the rest of the prayer goes on, and it just really talks about God's grace and forgiveness to us, like, meeting him where we are right now, and then finding ways to show up in the world for him, you know. And I think about that prayer, and I talk to the teens, and I'm just like, have you ever hesitated to I start very simply and very vague, and I say, have you ever hesitated to do something is the right thing to do? You know, Sometimes it's like you see someone in need and you choose not to help them. It can be something simple, like someone drops their bag of groceries and a can of soup rolls across the parking lot, and you see it. They don't see you, but you see this, and you hesitate. Do I have time? Do I have time to help this person pick up all these groceries? Probably not, because Carrie's always late. Right? So, you know, you hesitate. And so probably, in my case, I would go and help and be even later, because what difference does it give me, go help. But there's that moment of hesitation to do the right thing. And for our teenagers, I say, like, do you ever see someone who's struggling, and you think, maybe I want to go help them, or you see them being picked on or bullied, or you see something on social media, whatever, and you think for a moment, oh, I should do something about that. But then you hesitate, right? That human nature, as it will, like that, just we take pause for just a moment before we do the right thing. And sometimes we go ahead and we do the right thing, and sometimes we don't, right? And so then I would talk about, well, if not you, then who's going to proclaim that gospel? And when I think about the cast of characters that Jesus hung out with, right? Um, all of them, all of us are second chance people, right? Because, of course, the only one perfect is Jesus, right? And so we all needed these second chances, and sometimes third, fourth, fifth, et cetera, et cetera. But I think about Peter, obviously, an obvious one, denying Christ 3 times, getting that second chance. And now he's like, I'm going to get this right. And he gets it so right. He goes on to be, our first pope. We think of Thomas, who, hesitated in his doubt. He didn't just easily believe and follow blindly. Like, he just needed proof. And there's that hesitation in us that's like, oh, I want to do that, but I'll believe it when I see it kind of thing, you know? And Jesus doesn't condemn either one of them and very lovingly and beautifully says, peace be with you, right? Be at peace about your hesitations. Be at peace about the times when you lose it on a family member and you're just angry, or you fall into a sin that you thought maybe you conquered, and there it is again. That's what the grace of the sacrament of reconciliation is for, right? So we have this opportunity to get a second chance. We're going to do this. We got this, um, and how just powerful and beautiful and grace filled those second chances can be. I even think about the two guys, the two thieves on the cross on either side, crosses on either side of Jesus, right? You got this guy over here who's like, even if I could get a second chance, I don't even, whatever. But then you have this guy over here who's saying, you know, this is it. Like, this is my last second chance. All right. This is the last second chance I'm going to get. This is it. And he recognizes Jesus. He recognizes his second chance in this moment while he's hanging on a cross, and he's not trying to say, erase the things I've done in the past, but instead he's saying, I don't want to repeat it. I don't want this to be it. I want better. Right. And so it just really, of course, made me think of me personally and us, what are the areas in our life that we just need another chance? And sometimes, like, as a goal setting coach and as someone who helps people like with life balance and things like that, a lot of people set a lot of goals in January, and by mid-February, a lot of those goals and dreams have already been set aside, right? But May is actually the month of reset. I don't know if you knew that or not. Maybe random fact. I don't know. But May is that month of reset. And I think part of it is because the season, it's spring, it's new life, it's flowers are blooming, weather hopefully is warming up. And at least for me, the beach that I hang out on all the time, there's no more ice, there's no more mountains of debris for me to climb on and fall through. Right. And now, we've got the water coming in and the beauty of that. And we're seeing more of the water animals, fowl, whatever, coming yesterday. No, a couple of days ago, not yesterday, a couple of days ago, Sunday, actually. It had been a crazy day just of ministry. It was like mass number 1 and then a rehearsal and then mass number 2, which was first communion mass. And it was jam-packed with people. And I had the bell choir performing, and then not performing, but ministering, sharing their music. And it was really their first bigger performance, right? And then I had young kids playing choir chimes, and I had little ones doing solos, and like all this stuff. No one was practiced well enough. Faith formation had forgotten a couple of details, so we're scrambling to try to figure that out. Our pastor has COVID. I mean, it was just so stressful. And then I could barely stay for the final song before I had to get in the car and drive for an hour up to where I was running the confirmation retreat. And I'm like, oh my, if I don't get in the car soon, like, I'm going to be late for this confirmation retreat. So it's like stress. And a lot of on stage time, if you know what I mean. So from the time you step into the church to the time, even my hour drive, I was on making phone calls and stuff. So it was just a little crazy. But when I got home, it had been a rainy, gray, chilly day the whole day. And when I'd gotten home, my husband was kind of just down in the dumps. Sometimes that happens. It's a rainy day, it's a gray day. And for him, with his injuries and the pain that he's in and the fact that we still don't have his truck back, he couldn't go anywhere, he was stuck in our apartment, and he just was kind of down in the dumps. Well, the sun came out right before sunset. And even though all I wanted to do was put on my jammies, like curl up with a cup of tea, watch some TV and go mindless, right? Instead, that sun came out and I was like, you know what? This day's asking for a second chance. Right. And I just really felt called to go to the beach. So I said to him, I'm like, let's go watch the sunset. Let's take the dog to run on the beach. And no one's going to be there because it's been raining all day. So it's not going to be dry. It's going to be wet, soggy sand, But if I can hike on the beach in a foot of snow, I can do wet sand. Right. So I convinced him and we ended up going, and it was beautiful. I was so glad that we went. I was exhausted. He's like, "Do you wanna keep walking?" And I'm like, "I really can't." But we kinda gave that day another chance, right? Um, and so we're walking on the beach, and this was the whole point of this because I'm talking about, like, everything kinda coming to life, and there were ducks all over the place, and there were, geese and seagulls, and I just kept wondering, like, "I have a hound dog, why is he not chasing these ducks?" But he didn't. He's, like, running all over the place, but I'm like, "Go get them. That'd be fun. You'll never catch them, but go get them, right?" But anyway, so we turn around to walk back, and, there's deer. I don't know why this shocked us, I guess because we've never seen it before, but there were, a couple of deer, and they were down by the water, and they were just drinking out of the lake, and they're hanging out, and we were just like, "I've never seen deer on the beach before," and when deer's always in the woods or even in the road, but never have I seen deer on the beach, and I was like, "That's kinda cool, I really love that," and I was so glad that I gave that day a second chance, right? To let the stress go, to get out there on the beach, to spend some time with my husband, to let our dog run because he just hasn't been getting exercised like, we want him to. So anyway, it was just kind of a cool thing to see those deer out there just having a drink of water, just being on the beach with us because, we love it. So, Libby, I'm so glad you're still drinking your thieves' tea. There we go. That's the servant's prayer. The one that I was talking about from the retreat, Millie. That's cool because I couldn't remember what it was. It was the year of. Do you remember what it was? The year of prayer that everybody had. Um, I ended up typing that one out with little colored paragraphs so I could get 14s up, and they would each take turns. And we talk about different kinds of prayer, and how you can read prayer. You can write out a prayer. You can pray from the heart. You can, recite a prayer that you learned, Our Father, Hail Mary, Glory be, whatever that might be. We just talked about different ways to pray. And we go to adoration and we talk about praying through that experience. And so just trying to give them different ways of praying. And I share with them the story of how I started praying. I became a missionary and I really didn't have a prayer life. I knew my Catholic prayers and that was it. And I really didn't know how to just talk to God. And that's what someone told me to do. They said, just talk to God like he's your friend. And I thought, oh, you don't want me to do that. I don't talk to my friends very well sometimes, not very, yeah. So we think of sometimes how we talk to our friends. And I was like, I'm not going to talk to God that way, but I have to figure out a way to be conversational with God because there has to be more to prayer than just reciting prayers that I had learned as a child, right? And I've heard and seen other people pray beautifully. I thought there's got to be some trick. And so a friend of mine said, just have a conversation with God, right? And I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to get to know somebody, I'm going to spend time with them. We're going to get to know each other. So sometimes when you're getting to know someone, you might start with a joke and break the ice. So that's how I started my prayer. I told God a joke. I was walking on the beach, ironically, in California, 18 years old, and walking on the beach. And I just said, okay, God, it's me and you and a bunch of seagulls. So I'm going to tell you a joke. So I said, God, what do you call a dog with no legs? Y'all know the answer to that one? What do you call a dog with no legs? And I say, those jokes where what do you call a guy with no arms and no legs in your pool? Bob. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs on the wall? Art. Guy with no arms, no legs in front of the door? Matt. Right? Yeah, thank you, Bob. You know these, right? Well, the teenagers never know these jokes. And they're like, those are the worst jokes ever. Plus, they've never really heard of anyone with the name of Art, so they don't get that one either. But then I get to the punchline. Well, what do you call a dog with no legs? Doesn't matter because he can't come anyway. Ba-doom-tsh. Ha ha ha. Usually I have to explain it. Dog has no legs. You call him. He can't come. Da 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 da. But anyway, the point is always made. That's how I started my prayer life. So, however they are starting their prayer life, if they don't already have one, however we all might be needing to start praying again, it can't be any worse than that joke that I just shared. God was like, I just picture him up there, looking down at me and going, "Oh my gosh, Carrie, that's the worst joke ever, but it's okay. I'm gonna give you another chance at this prayer thing. You can have another chance. We're gonna keep working on it, right?" So that's what we do. We keep working on it. Let's see. Love that way of thinking about our days. We can give. Yes, our days can always have a second chance, right? Quack me up. Okay. All right. See, go ahead. Put in your really bad jokes in the comments and let's just share them. I might just have to add that to mine. That quacked me up. Mhm. I digress. So, the last thing that I really want to say about our God of second chances, not only should we just bask in gratitude, right? I just want to think about this for a moment. Just bask in gratitude for the fact that we get second chances, right? Every day that we wake up and every day that is a new day for us is a new chance, right? A second chance. Every season that we go through is like another chance, right? I love the seasons, the way that things have to go quiet and dormant for a while, and then they start to spring up again. And they don't just explode usually, although sometimes we get like a summer day in January, right? But they don't just explode into our life. It comes gently, God warms us up, so to speak, to what's next, usually in our lives. And sometimes we have abrupt changes in our lives. And faith is what gives us the ability to pivot, to change, to accept, to realize when those abrupt things happen in our lives that just stop everything, you know. And you know what I'm talking about. It can be something as awful as the death, of someone that we love. It can be a car accident. It can be a diagnosis. It can be a fire. It can be all these things. But it's not always bad and horrific things that change our entire lives. It's the birth of a baby. You are never the same right after that first cry, right? After that first moment, your life is never what it was before, right? And so we have these experiences, we have these moments in our lives, and sometimes we handle them well with grace and ease, and sometimes we're a puddle. We're a mess. It's but whatever it is, however that happens and approaches in our lives, like it's okay. You're going to get another chance because you woke up today, because you have breath in your lungs and you have eyes to see, your heart's eyes as well. Not everybody has vision, but everybody has the eyes of their heart to see what's next, to see the second chance that is before us, right? So the last thing, I think, did I say the other thing was the last thing? This is truly the last thing, is just the simple fact that if God gives us chance after chance after chance, like we get our second chances, we have to be willing to give those second chances to others. God forgives us. We are called to forgive others. And I know that you know that, so it's just a reminder, but that is part of that beautiful prayer. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those, right, who trespass against us. So living as people of second chances, because we serve a God who gives second chances. So I want us to really think, as I'm going to share a song, my God of Second Chances song. I want us to really think about if there is anyone in our life that we need to give a second chance to, or a third or a fourth or a fifth, or if there is something in our life that might need another chance, something that you might have given up on, but maybe you should revisit because maybe it needs another chance. But more importantly, the people in our lives that we are given to love and to care for, do they need a chance, another chance from us? So I want that to be part of our prayer this morning. So let's just really make that prayer. Breathing in second chances. Father God, we thank you and we praise you for our time together today. Thank you and praise you for each and every person here and all those in our Coffee Conversation family that aren't able to be with us this morning. For those who are yet to be part of this Coffee Conversation family, Lord. But all those in our lives that need second chances, aka everybody, God. Thank you that you are good and gracious. Call to mind now, Father, the person that we need to forgive, that we need to offer your grace and forgiveness to, or an area in our life, Lord, that we need to lay at your feet for our second chance. He is the God of second chances, God of mercy and God of love. He is the God of second chances, and I'm in need of one. Maybe I'm not as bad as some, and maybe I do good now and then, but I'm a little like that fig tree, Lord, and I need one more chance to grow. And if you give me one more chance, Lord, maybe I should give one too. 'Cause how can I not forgive my brothers and my sisters when you've forgiven me? He is the God of second chances, God of mercy and God of love. He is the God of second chances, and I'm in need of one. Your grace and forgiveness, Lord, mercy flow over me. Amen. Oh, thank you, everybody, for praying with us, with me, with us as a community. And however this morning started for you, nice and early all together. If it didn't start great, give it another chance. There's a whole day in front of us. And if I could just add one prayer request, Troy and I are going today to meet with the surgeon team and talk a little bit more about what's looking like what might be an inevitable surgery. So, so we just need prayer for that. We need direction, discernment, and miraculous healing, if that's the way that this should go, or grace to know and be at peace with the decision of surgery. You know, I don't have to tell you all that stuff. So if you could just remember us in your prayers, would be great. About 1:00 Eastern Standard Time today, that's going to be happening. And so thank you for your prayers and support. I believe so much in the power of our praying community. So God bless you. God keep you. May this be a beautiful day for you. Thank you, Libby. Thank you, Anne, for that. And do not forget to come back tomorrow, where Millie may or may not be drinking Thieves' Tea. But she definitely will have some wisdom for us. And invite people to come. I think we learn so much about ourselves and others, and it's such a beautiful thing to behold. So invite someone, come back tomorrow, and we'll see you then. All right. God bless you guys. Take care.